What's up everybody, welcome back to my live stream. Today is day 17. I really have to admit I'm a little bit tired. I didn't have much sleep last night, and I just slept a half hour before this stream, so I had to set up everything really quick. Here I am! Totally excited about today. Kind of, well, let me just wake up a little bit and here I am. I made it today, so that's good, you know. Sometimes I just I kind of forget all the way, and then you guys are waiting, and then I need to postpone it for an hour or 2 hours. But hey, today I'm in time at the live stream. Even got time to make myself some coffee, so that's good. Anyway, again, thank you all so much for tuning in today. Today in the live stream, I thought to do something, something that someone requested yesterday. I forgot the name. Philip, hi from Chile. Hi Chile. I hope to come back soon. I already got a few messages from you guys today on Instagram from Chile. I don't know what particular reason, but just saying that that you guys miss me. So I just want to say to Chile, I miss you guys too. I might come back this year, but I don't know when yet. But I'll come back soon. So I won't forget you, of course. Anyway, what? My room's okay. I'm just checking all the chats here. I see a request also to make a lead from a voice. It might be cool if I open a project one time that I did a while ago, which is called the track O. I really have a lead made from a vocal in there, which is actually the same vocalist as For You, but then I made this track with a different vocal, but I just made a lead out of it, just a lead vocal. Well, I will show you one time. Look it up on YouTube, Frontliner O question mark. No, you know. Anyway, I have not looked into Discord app. I was quite busy today with a lot of different stuff, but I didn't have time for that today. So it's still pending, and I see that it's really popular. So I'm really going to look into that, and I might just do that one day. Anyway, what I was trying to say about the request from yesterday is that it got requested that if I could show you guys around a little bit in Cubase. That was one request, but also to see what kind of synthesizers and plugins are in Cubase itself and what I can actually do with that. I already told that I didn't do. I don't use many of those plugins in my recent work. I have used a few though. There's like a Patchwork, which is really nice for pads, but also other sounds. I'm going to show you that one as well. Of course, there are a few plugins that I use, some inserts, some effects, you know. And but I also have a few plugins that I have used in the past. Some even like years ago. But I'm not using anymore for some reason. I don't know, maybe because I replaced it with, for example, Spire or something, you know. But hey, maybe this will also open my mind a little bit and open up a new love for this kind of for these plugins, these Steinberg plugins, you know. So that's quite interesting, and I tested it before I went online. You guys can actually watch me on the screen over here, so that's good. You guys can have a watch and actually see what is going on the screen with Cubase, and yeah. So I think that's a cool item to do today. All right. So Cubase, I've been working with Cubase for so long already, since SX3, I think. That's many versions back. It's now version 10. So, and I still love the workflow so much. It all comes so natural to me, you know. It's so, yeah. It's just I love working in Cubase. Anyway, First I started in, just a little background story, I started in Impulse Tracker back then, which I'm also going to show in the stream one day. That's a really old program which I used since I was 11, 12 or something, so it was in MS-DOS. Just look it up, it looks crazy. I'm going to use it one time in the stream in one of the upcoming days, so that will be a lot of fun. Then I started using Fruity Loops, but then I bought my first hardware synthesizer, which was the Virus TI Snow. And back then I worked at Impulse Tracker, Fruity Loops 5, I think, and it was a big struggle working with hardware back then. It's now, I believe it's now solved and pretty good. I see so many people use it, but it was a struggle back then, and I thought I need to do something, change something, and then I decided to, well, actually also then I tried to use Cubase, but I only used Cubase to actually make leads and melodies with the Virus and export them as WAV file and then use them in Fruity Loops again. So I did use it a few times. Like, I think one of the first tracks that I did with the Virus, if I'm sure of it, it's Time, the bells of time. Well, actually all the leads. So I made all these leads and I made them in Cubase and imported them, which sounds crazy when I think of it right now, but I imported them in Fruity Loops and made a track out of it over there. So kind of weird, you know. I could have used Cubase all the way, but I didn't understand much of it, and I worked so fast with Fruity Loops that I decided still to stick with that, you know, and just combine those two. And then all of a sudden I was working in Logic, also because back then I just came to scan tracks, and the Prophet was using Logic on the Mac, and I knew there was a Logic version on the Windows, Logic 5 or something, which was the last version that was released on Windows. And I used it for, I don't even think that I released tracks on that, because I used it really briefly, but I couldn't, you know, really work so well with that. And then after that I quickly decided to go straight for Cubase and use that and try to figure out how it works. And yeah, then since then I stuck with it, you know. So that's a little background story how I worked from DAW to DAW in the past, you know. And now I'm here working on Cubase for many years, and still I'm very happy. Alright, so what do we have here? Cubase. I have a blank project. Let me just grab a sip of coffee. That's how we do when we start the day, of course. Just get some coffee. And let's see what we have over here. First of all, I'm looking at my instrument list, and for some reason when I switched to Cubase 10, I could not find a way to actually, like here we have a list again, but it's now selected on, sorted on a vendor, but for some reason I cannot do that over here. So maybe I need to find something about that. Quick controls, I don't know what I want. Media. Well, maybe here we can find something more useful. So with the external plugins, other. This is also not by. Oh yeah, sort by vendor. Maybe this will make sense. And maybe if I go back now and find something. Ah, there we go. Hey, I just fixed it on the stream. That's cool. So what I now just did, I just made sure all the effects and instruments that I have are now sorted on vendor instead of I don't even know what it was sorted by. So now I can actually old school find my synthesizers really good. So you can also see what I have over here. I have a few cool ones that I like. Diversion from Dmitry Skez. Drumazone is very nice. Of course, this is the Virus TI Snow. Expressive, that's the LIE, which I can maybe show you a little bit over here. I have to put it up, but it's some kind of a MIDI controller. It looks very special, don't it? And to actually use it, this is like a modulation pad, and I have been using it so much now, except for a few times with some bells and some sounds. And here with this you can modulate the sound. It like moves like this, you know. It's really cool. But I haven't used it the few recent tracks. I don't know. I just I suppose I just didn't do that. I don't know why. Anyway, so what we have here, some more stuff. KV331 audio synthmaster, which is also really nice, silent one. Well, list goes on, and you've probably seen me use a few of those. And but now I'm going for those Steinberg drum and synthesizers, you know. It also says here external plugins. Well, these are just only my hardware synthesizers, you know. These are only the synthesizers like the Nordlead 4, GP8080. I have a Norwegian Peak over here, Fire C, Moog Voyager XL, Nordlead 2. You know, those synthesizers I can load in, and it says that it's underneath Steinberg, but that's because I just built them internal, if that's making any sense. So I'm kind of curious about these groove agents over here. This is the only drum synthesizer, and I think I'm going to just open this and try out what's going on over here. It kind of looked like battery from Contact. You have like this really drum pad kind of thing. I have looked around a little bit in this well, it's basically a sampler. You can just load samples in there like WAV files, and I can just grab, like for example, I'll get a kick from my computer. Let me just, oh wait, I see there's like a little problem, and I have to go underneath my desk for that. I have to, because my I need a light as well. My disc is not is ejected, so I have to plug it in. It's underneath here, so I'll be back. Just a sec. One of the supposed to be this one. Supposed to be working right now, because all on this disk, all my sample, yeah, it's now working again. I lost my kick folder, my sample folder. There we go, it's back. So, like I said, Groove Agent, it looks like battery from Contact a little bit. I'm just going to show you what it's kind of about, you know. So if I grab just one of those kicks that I made recently and just, like for example, put it on C2. There we go, I just put it in there, and then you just have a sampler, you know. You can just also yeah, well, it's more, it does make more sense if I use like samples like crashes, snares and stuff like that, and then you can have them on separate notes, you know. So if I just go in my percussion folder and clap samples, just add a clap to it, clap, alright, and then let me take a snare, so now I have, like on the C2 I have a snare, a clap, C2, snare. Well, let me just get a proper snare over here. Well, this is just really just for this is just for just putting your samples in there. You can probably also put them through different outputs, I think. That might be just logical to me. So we have 4 buses. I'm only using one probably. I don't even know, because I haven't used it before, but MIDI FX, Splice. Slice. Slice is quite interesting, I think. Slice. I remember I have a plugin for that called Vice, and what you can do with that plugin is actually there's a similar thing in Fruity Loops as well, the slicer. So if you use Fruity Loops, you know what I'm talking about. With the slicer, you can actually put a one audio file in there. For example, like a breakbeat kind of sample. Put it in there and let the program, the software, the synthesizer slice it, make points in there, so that the slices, the cuts are different keys. So I think if I go into my samples over here and let me go to this breakbeat folder and just grab one over here, I might just be able to. Let me just grab a better one. That's cool. So if I create a slice, which I did right now, but okay, so I don't know actually how this works yet, but it should be possible to actually get this sliced towards, if it makes any sense, it should be able to make these all go to different notes for some reason. So there might be a button over here, you know. It does get its BPM, so that's really nice. It says on 170 BPM. And it's selected samples or pads. I don't know what that does. Sample. So this is one sample. It just takes the one sample, the first slice over here. I don't know how this works, man. Show. No, I don't need to show that. Okay, main. What is EBS? Switch between relative and absolute editing. I don't know what that means. Relative. I think that makes sense to which part or something I'm editing. We can also do patterns over here. Pattern sounds more logical. That it should be. I think we can make like a pattern which I can control with only one note. So if I press, I don't know which note this is, and then it will play like a pattern which I can kind of make somewhere. Mixer, agent. I don't know what it means, man. Normal, half, swing, gate, scale. Let me just see what's going on. Okay, swing. Now let me just. I don't know what it does. Double. This is like the tempo, but there should be somewhere where I can just edit this. I should be able to edit this pattern, you know. So I'm not sure. So guys, also know that. Oh, here you can load a MIDI pattern over here. Okay, interesting. So if I just grab one, I don't know, drum something. Is there a dubstep kit? Okay. So what will happen now? Actually, nothing will happen right now. So it did load a MIDI file. Wait, I might just be able to create a MIDI. Hey, but it's not. It doesn't make any sense because I only have one sample in there because I did slice it, like right over here. I did slice it, but it doesn't go to separate MIDI notes, you know. So it's quite difficult now to actually play tool, scrub tool. So there's a lot going on in here, and I really should, you know, look into this, how this works, you know, because I'm kind of interested in this slicer. I use the slice. I used the slicer a lot when I used Fruity Loops. Then I just made a few snares, claps, and everything. I put them in one file. Just put it in here like a Fruity slicer, and then I just had all these samples under just one synthesizer, you know. So that might be interesting, although it's also very easy to just, like I now did, you know, just put these samples on the different notes, you know. But anyway, I'm more like an audio guy, so I would still rather grab an audio sample and put it on an audio track and edit it from there, because I would have so much more control over the over everything, you know. I can stretch, I can reverse it very easy, I can add effects to it with direct offline processing, which I'm going to show you later on. But so for me now, this plugin is really nice, and there might be like some cool how do you say, some cool presets in here. So because I now just added my own sample, but if I look over here, there might be a few really nice kits that I can use. So I don't know them, but I haven't looked for them. The Vault. So it might be nice to look around in this little plugin. This is like a loop. Ah, loops. Wow, weird stuff. So there are a few kind of cool loops maybe that you can use in this Groove agent. There are some samples that you can load in. I saw that there are lots and lots of presets which I can choose from, so but that's just a matter of just sitting down, go through all these presets and maybe get inspired by some sounds and use them, you know. So still, it's pretty cool to have it in there, because there are a lot of samples in there which I might just be able to use and change and stuff like that. So Groove agent to use for my own samples, I would rather use either Contact, you know, for my kicks, for example, or I would use I have this Vice thing, which well, I mostly, for samples, I use Contact, you know. That's just my go-to, because if I would use a kick, I could use the same synthesizer to maybe add other sounds, you know, like I can use strings, but also maybe a snare. I could just rather do that in the same Contact instance to save like CPU, you know. I come from a time where computers weren't so fast, so I'm also really efficient in my project. So that means if I use a Contact and I want to use a string also for Contact, I use the same Contact instance and just stack it up over there, so it doesn't have to load like the whole Contact instance again, but just that little part in there, you know. Groove agent SE5. It's pretty cool. I do like all these options, and there are probably a few more of them. Like, it probably has a really nice pitch and everything, but sampler, I'm not a sampler guy. So, okay. Having that said, let's go. This was the only drum kind of synthesizer in Cubase that I found in the version that I installed, though, because there are some. You can even buy a new, I think, new synthesizer from Steinberg, if I'm sure of it. Don't count me on it though. But there are a few synthesizers over here that I can look around in. There's the Halion Sonic, LoopMash, Mystic, Patchwork, Prologue, Retrologue, and Spectre. So I'm going through all these over here. I know the Patchwork. I used the Patchwork a lot in the past, which is really nice. But I'm now going for the Halion Sonic SE and see what we can do with this little synthesizer. So it's now loading, I think. Oh, it kind of looks the same as the Groove agent. I see a lot of sounds like organs, popping up. Which is pretty nice. It's surprising that I never opened this one. Okay, this is nice. Let's see how the piano sounds over here. So I have my sustain button over here. It's just not working. I haven't attached it. The cable is down somewhere. Okay. So, but this is quite nice actually. It's a little bit. Alright, so there are a few nice samples in here. I wouldn't go for those samples that need that natural realistic sound. For example, a piano, I'm really picky with pianos. I would never use a Nexus. I would never use something sample based. Well, let me rephrase. I would use sample based because, but I would rather use the really big recorded pianos. For example, there are really cool piano pianos that you can load in with Contact, but I have a really nice one which I can load in with my workstation, and I'm going to show that a little bit because that's kind of interesting. Let me just find this little UV workstation. I have a really nice Ravensoft piano, which if I load it in, it really takes some time, you know, and with my computer this means a lot of time. So this is like really big sample based, really well thought of, really nice engineered piano. So I really love this one with a lot of reverb and stuff like that. I can actually make a really nice piano. For example, the piano of silence I also made with this plugin that I just opened. Anyway, it's all about these Steinberg plugins over here, and I'm now reviewing kind of. Am I reviewing? Yeah. Well, I'm just also for myself figuring out what's actually in my software. So I'm now into Halion Sonic SE 3. And there's a really big selection of sounds that I can load in over here. There are like categories that I sorry, I need to drink my coffee because before it got really cold. So a lot of synthesizers. Let's see what this does. Okay. Digit, there's but hey, what I also want to know because we have all these nice sounds over here and they all sound pretty cool, but what I want to know, is there anything in here that I can actually edit, you know? So I have loaded now a hard sync solo. So this is just the window that I'm looking at right now. This is the window that appears when I open it, and I see a lot of controls over here. I can open up the unison over here and the drive, pan random, which is actually pretty nice. Okay, I like that. Anyway, I will turn it down for now. Assemble. The reverb is pretty nice. Well, what I'm actually curious about right now is how this synthesizer is built up. How this single preset is being built up. Because if I would go to another one, Happy Back, or Hammerhead, which is kind of a guitar. So let me go back to this hard sync over here. I want to know if there are how many controls I have to actually edit this sound, and if I'm able to make a sound, and how is this sound being built, you know? Is it like sample based? It doesn't sound like that, so I kind of interested in how this works. So there are like effects, options, which don't show me as much that I need to actually build this synth, you know. Let me just grab this because I think the dog is upstairs. Let me see. Okay, there's a little thing in our house. There are separate levels in our house, and one of those levels goes up to a bedroom, which also goes up with a really narrow stair up to like a little part of, yeah, really hard to explain. But that particular stair, my dog Dio sometimes goes up that stairs, but doesn't. That he cannot come down. He's afraid to come down, and I heard that he's probably stuck over there. So I really need to check for a second. And while doing that, I know you guys always love listening to new music and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do right now, I actually exported one of those things that I worked on, and yesterday I worked on a hardcore track, which was quite interesting, and I'm going to play that one for you just to watch, to listen to. And meanwhile I will grab my dog Dio because he is afraid to come down. Okay, here we go. Here he is. Indeed, he was stuck upstairs. I had to grab him. I had to grab him from upstairs because he was afraid to come down. So, are you ready? Are you happy again? Alright. So, I have to go do my work again. You go down, okay? Where's mommy? Where's mama? he ran off. Oh my god, so let me just go back into Cubase to that Halion plugin, which I still don't understand how this all is built up, you know. So I can load all these sounds. I can load them all over here. I can edit the voice, the pitch. So without all these effects, it does sound like sample based. So what I think is going on over here, I think we are dealing here with a sample based plugin synthesizer. So again, it sounds pretty cool, but I think, although this one doesn't sound so sample based, it sounds quite synthesized. So I'm still not sure how this has been done, you know. I'm not sure of it. So it might be just sample based, that it's sampled all the notes. Anyway, I don't see so much control in here that I would like to make an, it's not very how do you say it, able to make a new lead in here. I just press this button and this pops up. This is just exactly the same as this. Anyway, there are some nice samples in here which you can choose from. So there might be a few like strings that I would like. I might like, you know. Alright, so this is quite nice. Pretty nice. Let me look to those violins over here. Pretty weird. Okay, so the violin is pretty nice in there. Pretty nice. So the strings, there are a few nice samples which you can use in this Halion. Some nice choir samples. Which I haven't used them before, you know? Robot voice. It's quite interesting. I think this is pretty nice. So if I would use like a destroyer, which is also Cubase, destroyer. I don't know. It's a destroyer. Let's give it a lot of. This is pretty nice to actually make like a really cool bassy sound. Pretty nice. With all the distortion. Anyway, let's leave this Halion Sonic to it. What I have to say about this little soft, it's not a soft synth. It's more like a sample based. I think it's a sample based lead. Anyway, if you want to make a new lead, this is not the one. But there are a lot of really cool samples in here. A lot of really cool presets, I mean, that you can use. The choirs are nice, the strings are nice, violins. There might be a whole lot of other synths and sounds that you can pick from in here, which are actually really nice. So I might even just go and search in here and see what I like and what I can actually use in the track, because the quality is also pretty good. Not for every preset. Well, although you can also, like what I did with this voice kind of thing, just add a distortion on there, and then you can make it like really fat and nice, you know. So I kind of dig this. I kind of dig this. I think the presets are really cool, really easy, of course, to just grab a sound like a nice choir, a nice string from this Halion, and just to use really quickly in your. It's more like a Nexus, you know. You can really compare it to that. Just really nice presets that you can use. So I'll remember this one. So that's the Halion SE3. Let me just go to, and let me just pick another one. So we got the Halion over here, and now we go to the LoopMash. I have no idea what the LoopMash is. It does sound like something that can loop something. I have no idea what I'm looking at right now, actually. So if I just play a button, nothing happens. Okay, so LoopMash, help me out over here. You can have the voices per track, so you can make like a loop. Wow, I've never seen this. There might be a preset in here that I can open. So a good start tutorial. Okay, so now, wow, okay, so here we have a loop, and let me just see what we have. It opens WAV files, so it's more, I think it's a sampler, a pattern builder. So if I just play over there, oh, so it goes together with your grid over here. So it does play a lot of samples. I don't know what it means. Volume, of course. Transpose. Okay, slice effects. Number of voices per track. Oh, look at this. Slice FX. So it adds like a really cool effect or something. Like, whoa, what's going on? Relative, boost head, grid 2. Whoa, I'm not sure what's going on. It just creates a track for me. It says new jam. Let's click new jam. Trio. I don't know what this is for. Jamming. I'm kind of confused what the meaning of LoopMash is. What happens right now? I just press buttons, and then it suddenly is making music on its own. So it's loading in samples. It's loading in all kinds of recorded samples like trumpets and a beat and everything, but I don't know what the meaning of this is. So that it's all presets, it's all I can't lay my finger on there. What is the meaning of this if you have a DAW and want to make music? But I'm now running through my head what is like what I could use this for, you know, and maybe I need to just go through these presets because I just opened a good start, and I'm now really curious if I would just go in here and I don't know, Funky Police for somewhere or something. It opens a lot of. There are numbers over here which I can press. I think these are all loops, and if I just play over here. Let me just go into an empty preset, because I think my feeling about this is that I can actually put my own sounds in there. Alright, also loved Booblan on he's amazed that I'm not using the stock plugins. Well, I'm amazed by myself as well. I used the Patch Shop and I used the Prologue a few times, but these I have not used before, and he's now telling me, well, play through that, you do your own sound, put them in there, and then do creative stuff. So what I'm going to do now is just grab a sample, for example a kick. I will put it in there, and let's just see what it will do. It will actually allow me to put a sample in here. So this is my kick. So it's playing this kick pretty nicely, and I can also duplicate this. Oh. Alright, so it kind of now it does copy all these slices. Okay. Oh, I can also, well, now we have like a beat going, I think. Okay. This is getting somewhere. So you can actually just, whoa, it's crashing. Okay, I will give that LoopMash another try. What I think, if I just looked at the preset that was in there, like the temporary, or the tutorial one, and if I would put my own samples in there, my own loops, it might be just really cool to actually use it as an edit kind of thing. But what I have to do for that is actually create a loop and make an audio of that and actually load it in. So let me just try to do that. So I'm going to add an instrument. Let's go with that Halion one. Halion Sonic SE. So I have this Halion thing over here. Let me go to keyboard and just watt times or something. It's now loading. I don't hear much though. I'm not sure why it's not working. It doesn't. Okay, let me just make a loop over here. It's not, my keyboard is not responding, maybe because of the crash or something, but let me just first. Alright, so I'm going to just make like a little loop. This is nice. Okay, let me also make the BPM a little bit higher. Okay, and if I would make an audio file of this, render in place, render. Okay, now I have like an audio file. I will just normalize it a little bit, and then if I would, then let's go back into that LoopMash loop and see what it does with my sample over here. So I believe that I can actually just grab this and put it in there correctly. Okay, so now it just, Siri is watching, now it's just in here. So this sample, if I would press play right now, there we go. And now I can actually add effects to it, I think. So this is one, and if I go in here, oh, like look, I can do a scratch, and I can do like a tape stop. This is actually pretty fun. A stir. Okay. So tape start, and let me just add a backspin. I don't know what a backspin is, and then a slowdown. And then stutter 4. Okay, so let me see what's happening now. Okay, this is quite fun actually. So let me just add a few more. Scratch, tape start, tape stop, there are several tape stops, a stir, and then I can add a staccato, reverse. Okay, so I put a lot of effects on there, but this is quite interesting. So if you make a loop for something, you can add some really cool effects in there, scratches, tape stops, reversed things. So this might be useful, you know. So funny that I didn't know this. Wow. Wow. So this is quite actually fun. This is a lot of fun. Okay, so LoopMash. LoopMash is quite interesting. So you can do so much in here. There are probably also some parameters over here, performances that I can use. So these are resemble to all these effects that I added. So I can probably just, I don't know, what can I do here? Not add them. I'm not sure. Oh wait, I think these resemble my keyboard over here. So I can just probably play all these notes. So if I remove clear slice effects, well, that's easy. So now they're gone, and now these all resemble my keyboard, I think. So at least it should. Oh wait, I had this problem where it doesn't play my keyboard. So let me just go into the options over here, device manager. It's probably a Nord lead, which doesn't go well. I'm not sure what's going on. I might just be have to reopen my Cubase to actually be able to make this work again, because my keyboard is not playing right now. So that's a little of a problem. So I'm closing down Cubase one more time, delete everything, and just let me reopen it. Just wait a little bit. But hey, this is quite funny. The LoopMash is quite cool. I use some kind of a plugin that does a little similar thing, which is called Effectrix, and that one is quite cool to make some really cool effects. There are more effects in there maybe, which is funny. But what I believe in here, let me just again open a Helios. Let me also, or Halion, let me also see if this works now. I don't see a MIDI input coming in, so. In 1 sec. There is something wrong with this keyboard over here, so let me just unplug those MIDI cables. Maybe I have to reboot my computer even. I have no idea what's going on over here. The Nord lead is not working. I'm turning it on and off again. So the MIDI doesn't come in the Cubase right now, so I really don't know why. This is right. Let me just see. I have no idea why it's not working. It should work. This is weird, you guys. Why does it happen that things don't work together like that? So replug MIDI, I just did that. I also restarted Cubase. What I can do now is just try and open Logic if download later. Continue. What I want to do is open Logic. I still have so many kicks in there that I sometimes use Logic, but I just want to know right now if the MIDI is working. And it's not working, so that's like a little computer problem over here, which I probably can solve right now by unplugging this MIDI controller. Where is that? Oh, there it is. It's so dark in here, you guys. There we go. I should put a camera underneath my desk because I come there so often lately, man. Okay, so the MIDI is working again. What I'm going to do is make a new loop over here. So this is like a loop. Okay, let me just make it a little bit more interesting. Maybe a different sound. Keyboard kind of sound. Sound more. This is cool. Okay, this is more like a sound that I can work with. I just want this little loop over here because I saw like a feature in the LoopMash. Is it called LoopMash? I think that's what's yeah, LoopMash. So I just reloaded this LoopMash over here. Going to add this sample, and what I saw over here, if I just performance control over here, and this will probably just like here, you see them popping up over here, like this one will just, I think if I just now play my MIDI over here, this is cool. So this is what's going on. So this is actually fun, you know. You can, these controls are like the stutter over here, the retrigger, I think, tape stops, tape starts, scratches. That's pretty cool to actually be able to do this with the keyboard, man. If you just, like I did, I just made a loop, put it in here, and when I press play, so this is kind of fun if you want to use loops and make some cool effects on there. There are just a few effects that you can use, but still these might be just I still have hair, you guys. I just didn't do my hair, so I thought just do the cap thing again. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Let's just do like this. Alright? Alright. Anyway, LoopMash, I like it. I might just going to use that one time in a track. It's really cool that you can actually make a loop in Cubase, like I did with the Halion. Just drag the audio file from within the DAW and just put it in the LoopMash, and then just make those really cool edits and trigger them actually on the keyboard. So that's really cool, and that's what I like about this LoopMash. Yeah, it's like a scratching kind of LP kind of scratching thing or something, I don't know, but it's really cool. So LoopMash, I'm going to use it more often, I'm really sure of that. It's a really cool thing to be creative, you know. Anyway, we have a few more plugins that I'm going to use, and one of them, can you still see it? I will just open it over here, Instrument, We have the LoopMash, and now I'm going for the Mystic. I have no idea what the Mystic is going to do for me, so this is like a really big surprise for me. So there we go. Hey, I know this one. I have used this one before, and I'm really sure that this one has been called differently before. I also kind of know already how this one works. This is actually the first real synthesizer here in Cubase. It's really nice. I know this sounds pretty cool for itself. There are a lot of options that you don't see in other plugins these days, and that's what I always like. You know, a plugin, an instrument needs to have like that feature that you only have in that particular synthesizer, and this one has like a really cool, you can see it over here, waveform kind of drawing thing, you know. And if I just make a saw out of it, okay, that doesn't make any sense. Let me just first go into these settings, and I need to this one doesn't work right now. Let me just see. This is more like an LFO. I don't know yet what I'm going to do. I'm just trying to as many key tracking. It does all kinds of weird stuff, so let me just go into one of those presets over here. A lot of I don't know. I thought this was like a waveform editor or something, but it appears not to be like that. This is actually the waveform over here. Alright. Attack. Decay. Basic stuff for your synthesizer. I'm kind of looking around in this and see what can bring me, what this can bring me, you know. So I see a lot of arrows going on over here. So the damping goes towards, I believe, here the envelope maybe. This one goes envelope 2 to envelope 1, and I have some feedback over here, detune. Okay, that's pretty cool. Volume. There is like a delay on here, which I don't like right now. I just changed it, and there's distortion over here. Soft distortion, tube distortion. Oh, I just activated the distortion. So I don't understand yet why this cutoff is not working, why the morph doesn't do anything. Crackle, no idea what it does. So I kind of need to activate them maybe. So we have all these modulation kind of things. I can also do a phaser. Alright, so this is kind of an ugly sound, but I might be just able to do something more. So we have A, B. This is like, it looks like a filter, because you can do vocal filters. Now it does do something, but I think this is more like a filter kind of equalizer thing. So So this is like the higher frequency, maybe the other one the lower one, or the other way around. So let me just grab these. So this is, I don't know, it works the other way around. Over here I see. So here if I would draw only the low part, then I only have the low frequency, it looks like that. So the really low. But then I still don't understand this. It might be that this one, it also doesn't make. I still don't know, man. And I don't see how I. It sounds pretty cool. I think you can do a lot of it with this, but I just don't seem to really understand this plugin, you know. So pretty nice sound. There are like a lot of presets in here. Now we have a bass drum, 909. So the envelopes I understand, of course. We have the release, the decay. And we have the modulation, destination, cut 1. So again, these like filter kind of thing, which I don't quite hear what it does over here. We have the pitch, we have the feedback. Which is just like feedback, as same as the comp compressor. It just adds more feedback to it. Alright, so, and these I don't understand yet. I don't understand. This is like equalizing, but I don't understand why the cutoff doesn't work. You probably need to set it up somewhere, but there are some controls over here that I don't understand as well. And LFO, event. There's so much going on. Oh, the modulation wheel appears to go to cutoff. If I turn it down. It still doesn't, the cutoff doesn't work. There might be a preset in here. So here the cutoff does work. That graph is really, yeah, it is that, you know, filter. Alright, let me just make another. But I don't find a section where I can actually control the waveform, you know. There are a lot of effects on here, which is cool. Then we get a release. So this is quite nice. So because of the distortion, the filter doesn't have as much as effect as it should be. There's also no resonance, and there's a filter. This is for the delay. Chorus is on there. Okay, I still cannot find how to set up this cutoff over here, and I don't understand a few features like the crackle, which goes towards an envelope, and the feedback does make sense. So there are a few cool tools in here that you can use, but then again, still no control over that. Well, there are some waveforms over here. Maybe this is like, okay, let me just go back a little. I don't understand how I can actually make a cool sound from scratch. And you just wanna maybe go through these presets and see what you like and do some cool effects with this, but still no waveform controls, you know? So there are a lot of sounds in here. Mystic, it's quite cool, but it's more like you have to use some of those presets and really work with those presets and maybe just change them a little effect wise, but not necessarily the waveform, the actually sound, not like a sound design synthesizer. Still, it can be a lot of fun if I maybe find a few cool presets that I can use actually in the track, maybe some bells, maybe some bass kind of sounds, you know. I really like that squarey sound that I had before. I could actually use that in the track. But hey, just go through those presets and see what you can make up with them. It's not like this is going to be my favorite, but I think it's still a cool thing. And again, also something unique, you know. Something that I haven't seen before with those I don't know, the draw part. I don't understand yet. So that was Mystic. I might just want to go deeper in that and really look into that. I don't know, maybe I should watch a tutorial actually to be able to understand it properly. But hey, let's just first go to the next one, which is the Patchwork. I do know the Patchwork. I know it's a waveform based plugin. But this one is really nice. There are some really nice pads in there. Well, it's a pad shop, so hey, why? So basic sign over here. So this is like the sampler over here. I'm not even sure if I can actually put a sample in there. So I'm going to, again, grab one of those kicks. And wait, let me just try that again. One of those kicks. I cannot load them in there, so it's not like that sample base. There are a few samples in here and some really nice strings as well. So that's nice. And I know there are like really cool features over here. This is like a spread one. You can also spread the pitch. Randomize them. In which you can make really cool effects. And the controls are easy, like the cutoff is really clear. So really nice for strings like that, you know. Duration, you can also play with this and make it like really stubble. Like, wait, let me just put it to 3 or something. Then you can make it like really digital or something. And let me just back to 50. So a lot of effects as well. You can just import those effects like the filter envelope, key follow. You can do mod wheeling. You can put your mod wheel to a destination. For example, here the key follow goes to the filter attack, but you can also do like the mod wheel to the cutoff. You know, for example, if I would do that, it controls that cutoff, and you can set the depth over here. And I also believe there's an LFO on here on which you can do the same. And the LFO is somewhere over here, I believe. Amplifier, oh, the LFO is over here, so. And there might be some cool grain things that I can also add to this grain pitch. Weird stuff you can do with this. So there are a lot of options on there, a lot of cool modulations that you can use. Basically, also a preset based synthesizer, but really nice samples in there. And yeah, it's just, you know, very nice, very cool to use. Very nice presets, especially for strings, for pads. I used it a lot for that, and yeah, really cool to go to. So very briefly about that, just really straightforward, clear. The options are really easy to know, to get to know. You know, it's just a really nice synthesizer. So there are just a lot of, you know, presets in there that you can use, and really nice ones, like effect kind of stuff as well. But most of them are just pads, you know. But just good ones, really nice. The quality is really nice. And okay, so that's about the patch up. Now let's go to the next one, which is the Prologue. Prologue Q. I'm sorry, I have to. No, the Prologue, right? Yeah, the Prologue over here. Synthesizer, sawtooth. It looks kind of the same as the other one. That's why I was confused with the mystical one. I believe, let me just get through this a little bit, but I believe this is the one that I know. And you can also already see the similarities, you know, if I just open the Mystic again. It kind of looks similar, you know, but here it is like more a synthesizer, I believe. So, more clear, like oscillator 1 is just put on over here, and if I use this one, I can use other waveforms, you know. I tried that with the Mystic, but it didn't make sense. This is more like filter works right away. There's a ring mod, which is just modulating the other oscillator into the, you know, this one. So here we have the oscillator 2, oscillator 3. If we press the ring mod over here, just goes through that, you know. So if you press a sine, that makes even more sense. Let me just put this back to a square, maybe. So really nice. I can also put some drive to the filter. I can edit the type of filter over here, so LP2 24 dB, or go to 12 or even more, I think 24 LP1. No, pretty nice. Shift tracking, emphasis. Not sure what it does. Shift. Tracking. That's probably the pitch tracking. Shift. I'm not sure yet though, but anyway, there are a few cool things that you can do. If I go to the wave mod, frequency mod. So this is actually more a real synthesizer, well, lead designer, you know, sound designer plugin, which you can use to actually create a new sound. There are of course other options that you are might use to than other synthesizers, but it's really easy to use, you know. This is one that I would actually use to create a sound, you know. So again, all these effects are really similar to the Mystic over here. You have the effects over here, and this is the Mystic, and this is the Prologue. You know? So there's also a delay that you can activate. So that's really nice. You can also add a distortion. More wave bump. Really cool stuff that you can actually do with this little plugin over here. Modulation, flanger. That kind of sound, you know. So again, also a really big list of presets, but in this one you can actually make a new sound, you know, something unique. The effects are really spot on. They are limited, but therefore really easy to use, really quick, not so heavy for your computer as well. So this one is actually really nice, you know, to make some really cool sounds. So this one, yeah, Prologue. You really need to get into it to get to know it, but it really is a useful, really nice plugin, you know. Anyway, let's go to some of those plugins that I don't know actually. So I'm not sure if I know this one, the Retrologue. It sounds like something similar to the Prologue. Oh, look at this! This is actually getting, while the list continues, it's getting more and more. More towards a synthesizer on which you can do something from scratch. So this looks really I think a little bit similar to the Silent. So there are a lot of options over here. We can put the wave form over here, sine, triangle, saw, tube, and the shape. Pretty nice, pretty nice. So we can also turn on the other oscillators. So we can also probably just voice mode, glide, poly, mono. We can also put it to mono with some glide. Trigger off. Fing, I don't know what fing is. Finger it. So that's nice. I see there's a distortion on here as well, so that you can hear it together with. Tube, clip distortion. Actually, what I missed in the other ones is the resonance. So I can actually make some kind of a screechy sound. So I'm now still looking for the voice. The voice is over here. So there's also a sub oscillator over here, which is quite cool to use. I now added an oscillator to do that. That's pretty nice, man. Random pitch. So now you have like a random pitch with each note. I don't know, I'm not sure why I should use this. Maybe just slightly to get that really... But now it just randomly plays a note. So you can actually try to make a melody with that, but I'm not sure if I get something out of that. But if I just do it like really slightly, like 6% or something. It just slightly changes that pitch, which could be really cool, just creatively to make a really cool sound. Anyway, I'm still looking for that that detune, you know. The ring modulator is also really nice to use. You can see you can put them through a different oscillator as well. So now it's through oscillator 2. Okay, that's cool. So we have the ring. These are like more similar to the Virus actually. If you look at the Virus C over here, I will just try to actually show you the C. It's a bit far away, but these are like similar to those on the screen that you just saw. There are the oscillators, oscillator balance, but also the sub oscillator over here. That's a bit far away. The cables are a bit over there, but these are quite similar to that. So this is actually really a synthesizer. If you use this one, it's so similar to a lot of really popular synthesizers, and it sounds nice, really cool option. So it's actually a really cool synthesizer. So therefore there's an ARP as well, but I'm still looking for that detune. The detune I cannot find, you know, to add those layers to make it fat, you know. So there are envelopes, LFOs, modulation. I don't need the modulation, I just need the oscillator detune, or the voices, you know. I need to... Oh wait, there are some options over here, which I don't understand yet. Pretty cool. Oh, you can add the sync cross. Pretty cool effects actually. Oh, here we go. Here we have the multi. You have to set it on multi over here, and then you can add voices over here, and the detune. So the voices I will turn up to, I don't know, 8. If I turn these all off. Pretty cool stuff actually. So again, I added a lot of distortion, so here we have now that sawy sound, that basic sound. That's really cool for default stuff, you know. So now I can maybe also see what this finger does, because the fingered on and off I don't understand, and the glide of course, but if I just turn this off it might just be... Oh, it is for that glide. So this is quite funny. It's just if you play multiple voices and you turn that finger off, then it will just also glide that. And if I turn it on, then it doesn't work at all. Okay, I'm not sure yet about that, but it's still, I have to say, it's a really cool and nice synthesizer, you guys. It's really nice. I hear that kind of attacky sound that I don't like. I want it to be full on, you know. It's like more attacky tacky, you know? Like there's a compressor on there. Okay, you can also turn the phase to fixed phase, for example. What that does, the waveforms start at the exact same point all the time, and therefore it sounds like more flangery, as you can hear. And if I turn the phase to free phase, then you have that like full sowy sound, because all the voices are at separate positions, you know. So the filter over here. Key follow envelope. So again, very nice. There are probably a lot of presets here in here as well. Air solo. We have the I don't know, the bit rider. That's what I saw over here. You have an ARP page as well, which is like also something to really look into. But there's an arpeggiator in here as well. Effects page, so you can do a lot of effects over here. Modulation, phaser page. There's so much going on here. Equalizer. So this is actually a really detailed synthesizer. Which, if you are using Cubase, I have to admit I'm a Cubase user, but I haven't used this as much. I believe I've seen this, but it's a big shame on me, Fronty, that I have not looked into this one, because this one is quite interesting. I'm going to use this one. I'm really going to use this one. After so many years using Cubase, I'm not familiar with this one. Alright, so Retrologue 2 is actually a really nice synthesizer. Let's go on. The list goes on. We have one more to go, and that's the Spector. Let's see what we have here. Okay, I see again similarities to the Prologue and the Mystic, but this is something different again. I see oscillator A and B. It's now set on a pad. I see the envelopes here, so I can just get the attack, back, decay. I don't need much decay. Okay, some cool effects, but maybe I can get more to a sawy kind of lead. Again, this I think resembles the equalizing, just as the Mystic does. It does change a few things, but this I don't understand as well. These arrows go towards these graphic, I don't know, thing yet. Anyway, there are also I see some waveforms that you can choose from, and some effects. But these are like these presets for the graphs over here. I can morph between A and B over here. Cut off. Really spacey kind of sounds.
Ik kan geen overeenkomstige locaties vinden.
No locations found. Okay. So again, this is a preset based kind of pad. here we have an organ. Again, just, you know, look for a preset in here and play around a little bit with these kind of equalized settings. And these, I don't know what they do as well. Oh, these are the voices, I think. So if I put on 4 voices, you can just open more voices over here. You see one. So we have this nice organ over here, organic it's called. Okay, a lot of plugins, a lot of presets that you can choose from. I think if I really need some time to actually understand this completely. The same goes for Mystic, the same goes for Prologue. The Prologue is a little bit more similar to a synthesizer. Anyway, the Spectre and the Mystic I don't understand yet, but I think it's just about the presets in there. There are some presets in there, you can do some fun stuff with the equalizing, the effects, and just have a nice sound to use in your track. So I've used all of these, and the most interesting I think there are the well, I know the Pad Shop is really nice for pads, but I'm really stunned by the Retrologue. The Retrologue is really nice, really nice. A nice synthesizer on which you can do a lot of cool sounds. It sounds pretty cool, pretty nice, and yeah, really easy to use, and really nice controls over there. Also the LoopMash, I really loved looping around with those samples that you make. You know, if you make a loop, put it in there, and then you can have full control over the effects, you know, in the LoopMash. So that's kind of cool to use as well. And the Halion Sonic has some really cool and nice presets that you can use, nice violins, strings and stuff like that. So that's also really easy to use. More a Nexus kind of plugin over there. Okay, so I think I have, these are the plugins actually that I have, the synthesizers from Cubase. Let me just see if I just missed any, but I think I had them all over here. All the Steinberg synths, and also the drum machine, the Groove Agent, all them together I used now in this stream, and I think this is pretty cool. This has been a cool experience for me. I'm not sure again who brought it up. Yeah, but I really like that I actually now took time to find out what's in this software called Cubase, which plugins are in there. Let me just get a zip over here. Some really cool stuff over there. Retrologue, I'm really going to use that more often. It feels so lightweight, and when I open it, it just pops up right away. Everything is so fast, so that's what I love about that one as well. I'm going to play around with that and getting to know them the following days as well, while I'm doing the streams, and create something new as well. Yeah, I think this has been a really cool experience today in the studio for me, and I hope for you too to see what I do in Cubase, and also see what this software has to offer. You know, there are also like a lot of effects that you can use. I use the reverb now and then, the ping pong delay of course, but the compressors are really nice, and the destroyer, which I of course used making kicks as well, which is really nice. But this was about just, you know, all those synthesizers. Yeah, I really loved working with all those things and getting to know them. So thank you whoever put me up to this. Thank you for the experience of me using Cubase to the fullest today, and actually find out what it has to offer. Besides that, it's just an amazing DAW. I now have seen all these synthesizers and preset based synthesizers, you know. So again, that's so cool. Perfect. I think I am also calling it for today then, knowing that that we just went through all these synthesizers, and I would like to thank you all for watching again. Tomorrow I'll be back with another stream, and we'll have some more fun tomorrow. So everybody, thank you again so much for watching. See you next time.